Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Hope you're all having a good day today. My name is Tyranno Imperio. I'm a T-Rex VTuber, and welcome to my dinosaur movie tier list, I guess. So first things first, thank you to Argus in 2D and also Lilith TK. Thank you both of you for the follows. I hope you're all having a good Wednesday today, and thank you for the support. And thank you to you too, Sakia Bloodheart, for the follow. Appreciate your support. I also see you in chat, Goldie Wygorn, Dino Spotted, moving in to watch. I forgot what I was gonna say, but just stay seated. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I believe that is all that I've missed so far. So, yeah, I hope you're all having a good day today. The Dino's day has been good. Not too much has happened, so I guess we can just get straight into the tier list. So before the stream, I already put in all the movies I haven't quite watched, and those that I can't really give a fair kind of ranking to. Some of these here I also haven't watched completely, but I've at least seen clips and know a little bit about it. So I guess I'll say what I can about some of these first before I move on. I'll say what I can about some of these movies over here before I move on to the big ones. Oh, hello. Hello there, Masonic. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day, and I hope you enjoy this new thing I've decided to do. Alright, so first up, Dinosaur Rex. I do not know anything about this one. For Land of the Lost, still haven't seen much of it, but I've seen a few clips at least. I think it had a Tyrannosaurus and an Allosaurus. And I think there was a food cart or something like that. I don't remember anything else about it. Lost World, haven't seen at all. Same thing for Jurassic Pets. I haven't seen anything from Beast of 20,000 Fathoms. But it does seem pretty cool. It looks like some sort of kaiju movie. Alright. 1 Million Years BC, also haven't seen. Gwangi, haven't seen that either. Probably messed up that pronunciation. The Super Mario Brothers live action movie. I definitely haven't seen it, but I have also definitely heard of it. I think a lot of people have. I believe it's one of the main reasons why people aren't the biggest fans of video game movies. I've seen the Yoshi in that movie though, and it looks pretty darn good. It didn't belong in that movie though. But I think the animatronic they used for Yoshi, it would have fit well in like one of Jurassic Park's movies. Possibly more so than the baby T-Rex from the Lost World. That's debatable. Did you enjoy rolling in the grass? I did, Sakia. I did. And I shall roll around in the grass later as well. And also, hopefully, touch it, because I have lots of replies left to go through for that one adventure. Where the dino finally goes outside and touches grass. Actually, based on that adventure, sort of on a fact about paleontology. Well, it's a misconception that grass didn't exist at all at the time of the dinos, but it was definitely incredibly rare at the time, so it's certainly possible that some T-Rexes didn't touch grass at all their entire lives. Dinosaur movie stream. Alright, you're going to lurk, see ya. Thank you for the lurk, I appreciate the support, and if you're still watching, you shall be here with us in spirit as we go through things. Yeah, the Mario one was nightmare fuel, yeah. So I've heard, at least. Again, I haven't seen the whole thing, but it's from what I have seen, it's a weird thing. Apparently Bowser was also supposed to be a descendant of Tyrannosaurus, and at some point he did become one in the movie. I don't know too much about it. Green Bee, I'm hyped. So am I. Alright, now moving on from this abomination. Pterodactyl, have not seen that one at all. The Velociraptor, also haven't heard of that one, but I've seen it a lot when it comes to people talking about low-budget dinosaur movies. I think I've seen Altiori's review on it on YouTube, but it's kind of hazy what actually happened in it. This one I don't know, and yeah, all the others I really have no idea what they are. Oh, I see Ferrum in chat with the head patting mode. Hold on. Ferrum, the dino thanks you for the head pats. And everyone else in chat, feel free to give the dino head pats now while he is big dino. Please. Okay. Anyways, I see Duck is also in chat. Dino friend, Duck friend, hello, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day today, and thank you for stopping by. It's good to see you here. Live action Mario movie is an S tier because Bowser turns a guy into a chimpanzee and just says monkey. It'd be weird if he said monkey. That does sound interesting. If it was made around these times, though, you probably would have said monkey without the Y. Up, and I see the emote screen. Alright. But now that all the ones I haven't, well, mostly haven't seen are out of the way, let's see. I would want to go in order of just like these, but for some reason all the Jurassic Park movies are out of order, so I'm not sure I want to do that. Mom cake. Yeah, my day's been lit. Just ate cake. Oh, well, that's good, Ducky, and I hope you enjoyed the cake. Did I know just ate I ate I had a bit to eat myself before stream. There go words. Is King Kong a dinosaur movie? I don't think it would technically be classified as a dinosaur movie, but most King Kong movies do have dinosaur in them. Especially this one here, King Kong from 2005, I believe. We'll definitely get to that one because I definitely want to talk about the dinos in that. Godzilla? Actually, now that I think about it, at least the Heisei movies of Godzilla technically are dinosaur movies. Because according to the lore, he's a mutated version of a made-up dinosaur called Godzillasaurus. So technically all the Heisei Godzilla movies should be in here. Kind of. That could be debated. Is that one Ice Age movie a dinosaur movie? It actually is. Because I don't think you can read it. It is very small for you guys, but if I remember correctly, the title is Dawn of the Dinosaurs. And it's actually probably my most favorite of the Ice Age movies. Are Reptile Kaiju dinosaurs? Most of them look very dinosaur-esque, and I'd imagine the people behind most reptilian kaiju look to dinosaurs or other large reptiles like crocodilians for inspiration. As to how many of them are actually supposed to be dinosaurs in lore is debatable. Though I say I've had a few surprises in which ones are actually supposed to be dinosaurs. Like one of Godzilla's, one of his allies, Anguirus, is apparently supposed to be a mutated version of an Ankylosaurus. And if you look up Anguirus, I mean, you can see some resemblance, but odds are, I don't think Ankylosaurus would be the first creature that comes to mind. Alright, but, yeah. Let's see, how do I want to start things up? If you ever get channel point redeems, one of them should just be having you say a paleontology fun fact. That would be awesome, actually. I remember someone telling me that it would be cool to have Dino Facts be like a channel point redeem. And I have reached the requirements to become an affiliate if I want to. I'm not sure if I do just yet, but it would be fun having like emotes and stuff, if you guys would like that. Alright, but gotta get to the movies. I acknowledge Ducky and Ferrum's emotes there in chat. Let's see. Again, I don't want to go quite in order of this, because I want to go through the Jurassic Park movies in order. So, let's see. Tyranno emotes? I do have some emotes made by, I don't remember her name right at the top of my head, but I think it's like Rococo. A clown VTuber that I got them from her for an art raffle a long while ago. I actually use them every now and then on Twitter, like to show off emotions every now and then. Nano emotes would be amazing, hands down. Alright then, maybe I will decide to become a Twitch affiliate in due time. Until then, let's see. I guess I'll start with some of the ones I don't quite know, but have a little more to say about than these guys. So for that, I guess I think I'll start with, this King Kong from the 1930s, I think? I'm not sure. And I see all the emotes there in chat, Ducky. I don't know if they're Snob, from Pokemon, but they look similar. I don't think they're the right colors. Or it might be a shiny, I don't know, because I don't know much about, some of the newer Pokemon generations. But anyways, let's see. Alright. So, this version of King Kong, I don't know if it's the original, but if it is, I did see it a long while ago, back in middle school, for a film class I had. I don't remember too much about it, like, main character-wise, because understandably, with most monster movies, humans they tend to be pretty forgettable. But what I remember about the actual, like, the Kong in that movie and the dinosaurs, I think I remember a bit about, the original fight between Kong and, the old version of what T-Rex used to look like. I remember it was a mix of, live action as well as, stop motion animation. I think they used clay sculptures. Well, probably not clay, because I don't think you'd be able to move around that well, but they had, like, little figures that they were moving around to fight. There's something else I wanted to say, but I'm not sure if it's actually accurate about the movie. I think at one point they might have used a real gorilla against some other animal for, like, inspiration, but I'm not sure if they did, and I think that would be pretty ethically, like, not good to do. I'm hoping that's inaccurate. Not sure. So besides that, I actually don't know where to put it. But I remember enjoying it, at least, when I was watching it for the first time, so I guess I'll put it right down the middle in B tier, I guess. Okay. Hey, although I got messages. Oh my god, that's Snob. It is Snob, just a custom one. Ah, I see. Hi y'all, hello, Retro Quixote, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow, I appreciate the support, and it's good to see you here. Hope you're having a good day today. Alright, so another one I don't quite know about that I probably just want to get out of the way. Jurassic Games is probably, some would consider it to be one of those movies that are kind of trying to cash in on the big name dinosaur movies like the Jurassic Park franchise. I will say though, this is one of probably the highest quality ones out there. I remember I first learned about it from Raptor's review on some what he considered Jurassic Park ripoffs, and honestly, this one isn't too bad. As you can probably guess, sort of from the title, it's sort of like a version of the Hunger Games, but with dinos and also a few other prehistoric creatures. I think there was a Smilodon in one scene, or I guess as some people would like to call it, saber-toothed tiger. I don't remember what else there is. I guess like plot one. Wait, hold on. The Dino's trying to Actually, hold on. There's messages in chat first. Okay. Been very busy because busy work, understandable. But I hope you get to all that work soon. And how's your day going? The Dino's day's been going pretty slow, actually. Nothing too eventful, but tomorrow I am moving back home for spring break, which is gonna be fun. Okay, so back to this. Jurassic Games. Again, I don't know anything about the characters, but I if I remember, what I remember from Rick Raptor's review, it's, I don't know the word for it, very satirical, I guess. Like, it kind of makes fun a bit of movies like this, and also the fact that it's supposed, like in lore, supposed to be a reality show. I remember in one scene, they made a fake commercial about the dinosaurs in their movies and characters, and they actually made little figurines of those dinos and characters just for that one scene. Honestly, I appreciate the effort they put into that, and the T-Rex model that they used in the movie is scientifically accurately wise. It might be actually one of the best I've seen in any movie so far. So far, at least. And that's pretty much all else there is really to say about it right now. So, I still can't give it the fairest rating, I guess, because I only know about it thanks to one review. So I'll put this one also down the middle in B tier. Maybe in front of Kong, actually. Let's see, which one's next? Well, I guess, I already did Kong, so I guess Kong 2005. Kind of feel bad for not doing them in order, though, but it's whatever. So I guess, let's see. What can I say about, King Kong 2005 first? Let's see. I guess I did say earlier that I wanted to talk about the dinosaurs in that movie, so I will say, just about every single dinosaur in that movie is pretty much completely fictional. Like, they came up with brand new dinosaurs based off ones that we do know of. And they're supposed to be, like, I guess, super evolved versions of them that managed to survive on Skull Island alongside King Kong. And sometimes I would go through the wikis of that movie and just bask in how much lore they actually put into those creatures, in spite of the fact that most of them were only around for like a few minutes on screen. Especially the Statosaurus. I guess we'll talk about that one. The Statosaurus Rex. It's supposed to be like a super evolved version of T-Rex, as you can probably guess from the name. It's probably the most infamous of all the dinosaurs that have ever been made up for a movie. I'd argue more so than even the Indominus from Jurassic World. At least I feel like it might be, because it is older, and I feel like I've seen it a bit more often. Well, that's debatable. Yeah, there's also the Venatosaurus, which is supposed to be a bit like Velociraptor. That one isn't quite as aesthetically pleasing to me. Something about the Venatosaurus looks a bit off. And then there's also, let's see, I think it was just not quite regular, but there was a sauropod that was just Brontosaurus. They didn't change too much about it. But I think they also had their own made-up Ceratopsian that was supposed to be in the movie, but apparently it got cut for some reason, but you can't see, I think you can see the deleted clip that it was supposed to be in on YouTube. I'm not entirely sure. But as for about more than just the dinos, I guess. About this version of King Kong himself. I watched this movie a ton as a kid, and I do really like how kind of almost human they usually make him act. Especially with the girl, I don't remember her name. I think it was like Anne. But I remembered there was a scene where he was like playing around on a frozen lake, and I kind of liked how he wasn't just kind of portrayed as like a constantly destructive evil monster, and like it was emotional. It would take time to play, and like it was just an intelligent. I can't put it into words, but it was just an almost human-like creature that I felt bad for when it ended up dying at the end of the movie. Much more so than how it was in the original movie. Even as a kid, I don't remember feeling much for the original version of Kong, but this one, I think me and my sister actually cried at the end of the movie when we saw it fell from the tower. And I don't know what else there is to say about it, right? I'm not the best at really explaining these, but yeah, I think I'll put it right up at maybe S tier for the creativity it has with the dinos and its characterization of Kong. Yeah, I think I'll put him there. You know what? I think I'll go with Dino King, and also its sequel here, Dino King 2. Or I guess as some like to call it, I personally like to call it Speckles the Tarbosaurus. So, let's see. The first one, I do like, overall, the interpretation of Tarbosaurus in that movie. It's definitely a bit stylized, but I think it's done at a level that makes it very much unique to this franchise, and also it's fairly realistic. I think it looks personally looks really cool. The constant voiceovers. I've never really been a big fan of voiceovers over dinosaurs, except in like dinosaur documentaries when they're not actually from the perspective of the dinosaur themselves. But throughout the first movie, there's like you always hear Speckles' monologue, and I will say it's not quite as bad as a certain movie here we're going to discuss later. And I'd say it gets more tolerable when he becomes an adult, and you hear the voice change. I don't know, I kind of liked how his adult voice actor sounds, but I feel like the kid versions aren't quite the best at emoting, especially when there's more emotional scenes. Like when the big bad of the movie, the T-Rex called One Eyes, sometimes attacking Speckles. They could do a little better. But besides that, story-wise, I guess I don't know if I want to go into spoiler territory, but I guess it's a pretty old movie, so I guess a quick summary would do. Basically, just it starts off with Speckles living his life as a youngster with his pack. His mom, which is the only fully grown adult, I believe, and 3 siblings actually. I think the only adult, well, fully not the words. His only brother was called Quix or something along those lines, and he had 2 unnamed sisters. And they were just kind of living life until the big bad I mentioned earlier, One-Eye the T-Rex. He went Scar from Lion King and took them all out, and left Speckles to fend for himself, grew up on his own, the whole shebang. And along the way, I remember he met a female Tarbosaurus that became his mate called Blue Eyes. They had kids, and then when I ended up killing lots of them, except for one. who would be in the sequel. But I'll definitely say One Eye he's well written to be a hated villain, definitely, and I do relish in the last scene he's in where he finally gets his comeuppance and he's taken out by a Tylosaurus. I believe 2 of them actually, and they tear him apart. I'd say even it sounds mean, but I'd say he kind of deserves it after all the bad stuff One Eye did during the movie. Blue Eyes, I remember something happened with her leg, and then she ends up dying too, so she's not in the sequel, but I don't remember too much about her character-wise, probably because, well, she didn't really have like any monologue, it's only Speckles. I think I remember it being nice seeing how their interactions were. It's a bit hazy because I haven't seen the movie in quite a while. But yeah, I think I'll put you in 8 here. It's a bit fantastical, I guess, but I think it's a fun movie. I want to say if you turn your brain off, because that sounds rude, but if you just kind of say yes to the kind of stuff that happens in the movies, try not to think too much about it. For the sequel, it's not the best. It's also not the worst, though. Remember, the characters are, I don't know if you guys can see, because the posters are a bit small, but the characters get a lot more stylized and kind of cartoonish than they were in the first movie. Speckles, his voice is a lot deeper. Also, for some reason, it feels like he's a lot meaner, particularly towards his son. It's nothing too bad, but I feel like he's a bit oddly hard on Speckles Jr. considering the stuff that they had to go through during the first movie with One Eye and everything. Speckles Jr., because I will say, I don't dislike him, but I do feel like he's a bit of a wimp, at least in the beginning of the movie. I mean, that's understandable because he is supposed to grow as a character throughout the movie, but it's not the most tolerable at the beginning, I feel like. I feel like his voice actor does do a bit of a better job than Speckles' child voice actor in the first movie, at least. And let's see. I'm trying to think of other things to say about it. I don't really usually talk to people about like why I like movies like this, so it's a good amount of this is kind of just first things that come to my head. Hello there, tiny dinosaur friend. Hello, Excalibursaurus Rex. Welcome to the stream. Hope you have a good day today. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a good time here. Back to the story. I guess I'll do a small summary for this one too. It doesn't start right after what happened in the first movie, but I feel like it's a little while afterwards, with Speckles and his son getting used to the new island that they end up in at the end of the first movie. Junior gets kidnapped by Velociraptors, I believe, and then Speckles has to go. It's kind of like a Finding Nemo-esque thing where he has to go off on a journey to save his son. Along the way, he meets another Tarbosaurus. I forgot what her name was. I want to say Fang, but I'm pretty sure that's the T-Rex from the show Primals. I don't think I got that And then there's also an Ankylosaurus named Sai. He's not the most pleasant character to listen to, personally. I do not like him. Particularly his... I don't want to say particularly his voice actors, that sounds mean, but... It sounds a little bit like Timon from Lion King. And I don't know where else I'm going with that, but yeah, I don't know what else to say about him. Let's see, what else? Words. I remember, Junior, while he's being kidnapped by the raptors, gets taken to a camp full of other baby dinosaurs, and he meets another Tarbosaurus named Blue, which is a bit weird considering I'm pretty sure this movie came out before, well, after Jurassic World, and there's already a pretty famous dinosaur in that franchise named Blue. Bit odd. Also, oddly, a Carnotaurus. I think his name was like Blade or something. I will say from a paleontology standpoint, it is kind of weird that Tarbosauruses, who are supposed to live around Mongolia, meet a Carnotaurus who's supposed to be all the way in South America. But, I mean, Carnotaurus is a cool dino, and I love seeing more representations of them. So, I didn't mind it too much when I was watching it. And also, an oddly edgy baby Therizinosaurus. I don't know what his name was. Like Claw. It's like Claw Slicer, something along those lines. Who ends up working with the Velociraptors for some reason, even though, based on what happened to everyone else, he was kidnapped there with by the raptors. So I don't know what that's all about. And then the true big bad of the movie, which is the reason why the raptors are constantly stealing baby dinosaurs. I really don't know what to say about that creature is. It's definitely not based off any dinosaur that I know of. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like just a flightless kaiju-esque dragon. That's the only way I can describe it. And it also had 3 children, which looked like one of those 2 creatures from Ice Age 2 mixed with the Gronkle from How to Train Your Dragon. And I can't understand, like, how they were going about them, like, character creation-wise, like, design-wise. They don't really look like they fit within that particular movie franchise. And there's this one crazy scene where the fully grown one, it gets swallowed by lava, but then it rises up from it. And that's kind of why I describe it as a dragon. And also kind of a kaiju, because it did remind me a bit of Burning Godzilla during its last moments before it kind of hit itself into a wall that allowed Speckles and everyone to escape a big volcano. It's a bit of a chaotic movie, I will say, but it's pretty enjoyable. I don't know if I put it B or C. I think I put it in C. It's not the worst, but it's also kinda all over the place, I'd say. Alright, so next one. Dinosaur Island, I guess. So this one I also haven't fully seen it, but I've seen enough of it from reviews and such and clips that I could get something of a general idea of what it was like. I think kid from the present somehow gets... He's on a plane, but he somehow gets time traveled to a world where another kid, a girl, from like the 1950s or something, and a bunch of dinosaurs are. I don't remember anything about the human characters again, but as for the dinos, I forgot what the name of the main dinosaur was, which was the little girl's friend. I want to say Archaeopteryx, but I'm not sure. I remember it was capable of gliding, I think. I don't know if it's an I don't think it was an Archaeopteryx. Is it Microraptor? Or Sinornitholestes? No, I don't think that was it. All I know about it is that they have dinos with feathers. Yep, that's true. They did. That I appreciate, but yeah, they made them super goofy colors, which is... I love the effort they put into with the feathers, but color choice goes a long way. But also, Kate, I see you in chat. Hello, Dino. Hello, Kate. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day today. And I hope you enjoy my dinosaur movie tier list. Wait, no, I missed Velociraptor. It's okay. I actually, as you can tell, I haven't actually seen it yet, so I didn't have anything to really say about it, so I just kind of put it down here. I will say though, I'll repeat a little bit of what I said. I remember it showing up a lot whenever I see people talk about, I guess, some low-budget dinosaur movies. But yeah, back to Dinosaur Island. I don't remember the name of the main dinosaur that the kids had working with them. I think it was some sort of, I'd imagine some sort of Microraptoran. I might be wrong though. I remember it had a little gimmick where it was similar to parrots. It was able to kind of mimic the last thing it heard. And I think it's a pretty cool concept. I don't remember too much else about it. And for the Velociraptors, well, at least I think they were Velociraptors. They're probably some other dromaeosaurid. And also T-Rex. I love that they all had feathers. T-Rex from a scientific standpoint is still up in the air. But I personally really love feathered Tyrannosauruses, so that I liked. But as you guys probably heard earlier, colorings are a bit iffy on them. They're all of them are. I remember they're mainly blue with hints of like pink or red, which basically kind of cassowary kind of colorings. And I mean, cassowaries are cool. They're cool modern day dinos, aka birds, but Rick Raptor said this in his review. Giving them a more eagle-like appearance would make them more intimidating and also cooler looking. And I agree with that. Especially for the raptors. For the Tyrannosaurus, I'm not quite sure. I think the eagle-like appearance would look cool too. Something similar to the game Saurian's version of a feathered T-Rex. But before they replaced it with the fully scaly one now. I also think maybe giving it something similar to a kakapo, which is a flightless parrot from, I think, New Zealand? Or some other island, I'm probably wrong about that, but giving it like a bunch of green feathers to kind of hide better with the trees around it, which it would have needed. Well, I would say it would have needed, but would have certainly helped with camouflage, like within the tree, since it is a large theropod, and it wasn't the best runner, so it needs something to help with ambushing. At the very least, it'd be a whole lot harder to spot than bright blue and pink walking across a bunch of green. Which is the first thing I noticed when I saw the scene where the T-Rex was walking in that movie. Like, from a movie standpoint, it's good that it's easy to spot. But from other standpoints, it's just kind of odd. Also, I need to go see what messages I missed because I went off on a tangent there. It's a modern day masterpiece. Debatable. I'll see when we actually get around to watching Velociraptor at some point, maybe. Prehistorica was a fun movie. Really had great animatronic baby dinosaurs. I haven't actually heard of that movie, but I would love to check it out at some point. The bright aquamarine just made the Tyrannosaurus look so silly. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the green one. Yeah, you're talking about like cockapos, right? That I mentioned earlier. I believe that's what they're called. I believe they're also currently the most endangered parrot on the planet. I think those guys would be a pretty good inspiration for dinos that would have needed to use camouflage in like places with lots of green. I mean, there are dinos that wouldn't have absolutely needed it, but from a design standpoint, if you want a dino that's good at camouflaging, and they live in a large forest with lush greenery, I think cockapos would be the way to go. Let's see, as for other dinosaurs, really, the feathered ones were the only ones that I mentioned just now were the only ones I could remember. Actually, no. Well, those were all the dinosaurs I remember, but in terms of pterosaurs, I remember there was a Quetzalcoatlus at some point in the movie, or maybe a Pteranodon. I don't quite remember, but I remember distinctively out in one scene they said that the Pteranodon they were on had fuzz, but it would shed them as it grew. And I remember Rick Raptor in his review saying that there's no reason to believe why Pteranodon wouldn't have had fuzz like its entire life, and I think that would have been the same too. Especially up in the air where it's probably at least a little bit chilly. It would be nice for them to have at least a little insulation to keep themselves warm. Because I'm not sure if they are more close to warm-bloodedness as dinosaurs are, but regardless, I feel like it'd be nice to have something keeping them warm while they're flying about. And I do remember they had a running joke at least. Not with dinosaurs or pterosaurs or anything, but an arthroplura. I probably messed up the pronunciation of that, but I remember basically the joke was someone would say, "Oh look, it's a giant centipede," and then someone would say, "Nope, it's an arthroplura." Even though it's a pretty understandable mistake because they are very similar arthropods. If I remember correctly, that joke was actually the thing that it's actually the thing that they end the movie off on. Like the last thing anyone says in that movie, it's "That, my friend, is not the centipede. It's an arthroplura." And then it just fades to black. I mean, it's not the weirdest thing to end off on, but I don't know. Kind of strange choice to me. Maybe I wanted something more dinosaur related for the final line of the movies. Yeah. So, I appreciated having feathered T-Rexes, but I can't help but feel like it can't go anywhere besides D tier. Mainly because one of the biggest things I can think about it is kind of the iffy dinosaur designs. Plus, kind of not the best child acting, not gonna lie. That's one of the only things I can remember about the main human characters. I feel like I've been really rude to child actors and voice actors so far. I feel bad about that, but I don't know. At the very least, I think the people like who are helping them do their voice acting should be giving them better directions of what they're supposed to do. Grim Silith, thank you for the hello Dino-san, hello. Grim, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate the support. Hope you're having a good day today. Dinosaur, hello there, real human. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. And it's nice seeing you here on Twitch. It's always nice talking with you on Twitter as well. Hi Hoy, I'll be here learning about dinosaurs from you. Wow. Then you're gonna be in for quite the educational ride, hopefully. Because that is kind of the main thing I'm talking about regarding the dinosaur movies. I do try to also consider things like the characters overall and plot, but for me, dinos are kind of the main focus. Might be a little biased. And thank you for the follow, real human. Alright, let's see. Who do I want to go for next? Do I want to save I want to save the Jurassic Park movies for last, or want to go to them now? Actually, words. I think I'll go with Disney's Dinosaur and then the Good Dinosaur after that. Like the two Disney / Pixar dinosaur movies. Alright, so Dinosaur. I'll probably have to make a small summary of what it's like, because it's a bit of an underrated gem. I imagine not a lot of people have heard of it. But basically, well, I think a lot of people might have seen the opening scene, because I feel like it's pretty popular. But for those who haven't, basically it just opens up with an iguanodon building herself a nest alongside a bunch of other hadrosaurs and herbivores in general, until a young Parasaurolophus kind of, I guess, in the several poor choices, decides to go alone, far away from the rest of the herd, into a deep dark forest, trying to chase a small bug, I believe, where it ends up getting chased by a Carnotaurus and leading it to the rest of the herd. So, I mean, if it were up to me, you'd definitely be on timeout, or I guess in my case it's a T-Rex, I'd eat him. But after all the chaos that happens with her trying to escape the Carnotaurus, except for one unfortunate Pachyrhinosaurus, I believe, the egg gets kidnapped by Oviraptors, who end up dropping it into a river over a bit of a scuffle over who would eat it. I will say, as a paleo nerd, I don't quite like that interpretation of Oviraptors, because learning the story of why they're named that is kind of heartbreaking. Because originally people, they found an Oviraptor fossil on top of a nest they didn't know who it belonged to. So they called it Oviraptor, meaning egg thief, because they just assumed it was raiding a nest of a, I believe it was Protoceratops. But nowadays, it's believed it was actually a mother on its own nest, dying while trying to cover up its babies and like keep them safe. And honestly, now I feel like the name Oviraptor, meaning egg thief, considering the story of it, It does not sit right with me. Though I feel like nowadays it's too long. Well, it's too late to really change the name. I will say that it's a bit kind of iffy that the same thing happened for Maiasaura, but because it's a herbivore, they just, well, I would say it makes sense to them for them to say, yeah, it was a good mother staying near her babies, but it's a shame that Oviraptor, because it's appearing to be a carnivore as far as we know, kind of got a bit demonized, yeah. Granted, because of how its beak is, it's a bit hard to say exactly what it would have eaten. It might have eaten meat, it might have also eaten plants, so debatable. That's something to demonize about even having proof. Well, they thought they had proof. It just turns out it wasn't quite what we thought it was, and that is how it does tend to happen with paleontology. We get things wrong, we try to correct them. I want an Oviraptor. I probably would too. And any tryhards out there, if they want to try and own a Gigantoraptor, which is currently the largest member of the Oviraptorid family, be my guest. It would be awesome to have, but it also, I'd imagine, be very difficult to take care of. But back to the movies. So after the Iguanodon egg gets dropped in the river by the definitely now inaccurate Oviraptors, it leads to just the coolest opening scene I've ever seen for a movie of it traveling through a river and not meeting, but along the way a bunch of other types of dinosaurs and other prehistoric life are shown just kind of living their lives. Sometimes taking a gander at that random egg that seems to be floating by the rivers. I remember in one scene, there were two Ankylosaurs roaring at each other for some reason, and then they stopped to look at the egg like, you see that over there? Huh, weird. Anyway, back to our territorial disputes. Like, I don't know. I think there was just something kind of goofy about how they were stopping their fight just to look at some random egg that's passing by. Something cartoonish about it. And then after like a whole long-winded story about what happens, it ends up I'd only imagine it's Madagascar because it ends up getting raised by lemurs, and historically and prehistorically, lemurs are the only they've only ever been found in Madagascar. I would pet them. If you mean the Oviraptors, I'd imagine they'd be pretty nice to pet because they're believed to be feathered. Alright, but back to kind of this. Well, I wanted to say small summary of Disney's Dinosaur, but I feel like it's getting a bit long. But I don't mind. I like talking about dinosaur movies. So let's see. After that, it ends up managing to survive to full size, living with its lemur family, up until a bunch of meteors show up, and it, despite what some people think, it actually wasn't supposed to represent like the extinction of the dinosaurs, obviously, or else the movie would have ended it right then and there. But apparently it was a small meteor shower that ended up destroying much of the lemur's island. So the Iguanodon Aladar and what was left of his family, I don't remember if they had a specific idea of where they're going, but they're just kind of traveling in search of a new home. Up until they meet a huge herd of herbivorous dinosaurs migrating to, I don't remember they were given an exact name, but I think it was called just like the nesting grounds. Yeah, he would be friend. He would. Well, it's debatable. They would still be wild animals, but I think, based on what some birds are like nowadays, I think oviraptors, they could have the potential to bond with people. But from what I know, like, there are corvids and also some vultures who get really attached to their owners. I know perky vultures in particular will sometimes go to greet their owners when they see them walk in the enclosure. Kind of like a feathery version of a dog. Which is nice. But yeah. So they do, back to the, small summary of Disney's Dinosaur. They become technically part of the herd, though. I don't know if that, works. But they aren't exactly liked by the leader of the herd. I forgot his name. But I do remember the name of his, I guess, left-hand man, Crom, I believe. They were both supposed to be adult male iguanodons too, but they also had strange kind of I don't know how to describe it. They have large noses, which made them look like Altarinus or some other iguanodontids that I know of that had that feature. Or I guess Metaburosaurus too. But at one point, while the leader of the herd that I mentioned earlier, well, he doesn't really change. He's just kind of always a bit of a jerk throughout the whole movie, up until his end. Crom was actually not too bad of a guy, and after Aladar and his lemur family found him injured after trying to fend off the Carnotaurus that was following the herd, he actually decided to become more of a nice guy, and actually I don't remember the exact details, but at some point he caused the cave-in to kill one of the two Carnotauruses that were chasing them and save everyone. And that last surviving Carnotaurus would come back at the end of the movie to face them off all one last time, before falling off a cliff. And I'm trying to think of what else. Oh yeah, also, I forgot about her for a second, but I remember the leader of the herd also had a sister. I forgot her name, but she was supposed to be, well, not supposed. She is Aladar's kind of love interest, and you kind of like their interactions. Mainly when she first sees Aladar playing with two iguanodon babies that were part of the herd. I don't remember the exact details, but I think that was a pretty nice scene as well. And the lemur family, though, I'll be honest, I don't know if they were really, well, actually, most of them weren't really necessary to the story, and I'd imagine things wouldn't have changed much if they were just kind of flipped out of the out of the script. The mother lemur, though, I remember she was a big part of what caused Crom to become more of a nice person. Because she was the one who healed him and also kind of gave him a big talk about life and not being a jerk to everyone. To summarize it, it's more complex than that, but I don't want it to be too long. But yeah, it was a pretty fun movie overall. I do remember though that it didn't have the smoothest, I guess, pre-production stage, and they had lots of rough drafts and scripts that were thrown out, revised, etc., etc. Things were cut, and from what I know, it definitely had a lot of potential that the final movie might not have truly lived up to, but I think I personally enjoyed it, and I think it deserves a bit more love. So, It's not quite perfection, but I think it's worthy of at least A tier. So I'll put you there. Now for the Good Dinosaur. Good Dinosaur. Ironically, even though, despite its name, I'd say it's arguably a bit worse than just Disney's Dinosaurs. Oh, hello there. Rusty T Robot, thank you for the follow. I appreciate the support. Hope you have a good day today. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed the stream. Okay, so the Good Dinosaur. Again, this one's probably one that not a lot of people have heard of. Well, I think some people have heard of it. I don't know if a lot of people actually... Excuse me, I don't know if a lot of people actually watched it, though. So, I'm trying to think of, like, where to really start with this. Honestly, I don't remember... I remember the general story, but I remember very little about the actual characters, including their names. Oh, I gotta let you take a finish, but Salami Prompt 2. The second pastrami is the greatest dino movie of all time. Take a time, DVD. Well, unfortunately, I don't think it's in here, Ty, but if I do ever make my own tier list, because this one was made by someone else, but if I do ever make one, I shall put Salami Prophet 2 above even S tier, just for you. It shall have its own tier. But yeah, right now I am talking about the Good Dinosaur. It's a dig a joke, I know. But let's the Good Dinosaur. Honestly, even the main character, I don't exactly remember the name of. I think it started with an A. How you doing, my digger friend? The dinos. Well, there's two dinos now, so I can't really say the dino, but I'm doing good, and I hope that you, my fellow dino, are also doing good today. Let's see. I guess I'll just make the most basic summary possible. Basically, a small, a young sauropod. Well, can't really start there. I need to start like way back for everything to really make sense. Basically, this movie is taking place in a world where the meteor, for some reason, like missed the Earth just by a tiny bit, and the meteor impact never happened. From a science kind of nerdy standpoint, I don't think Earth's gravitational pull would have allowed that, and I think it would have made more sense if something else happened, like a second asteroid also just so happened to be coming by, and they collide with each other, so neither of them would hit the Earth. But yeah, basically, meteor doesn't hit dinosaurs live on. And then we get something of a society with them. It's not quite a society, but they kind of do more human-esque things. The main character, who is a sauropod, his family is they're a bunch of farmers. And somehow, even, like, in spite of not having, like, opposable thumbs or anything, they're able to create fences for some livestock, including this bird creature. I don't know what species it's supposed to be based off of, though. And also a large mill to keep all their corn. Again, very human-esque, and I don't think would be plausible for most sauropods, but I mean, it's a Pixar movie. I shall let it slide. And then all goes well until, apparently, I remember correctly, they realize that their corn is starting to be stolen. Particularly by some, one caveman child. And the solution is to trap it and, well, at least what the father of the main character wants is for his son to just, after it's caught, to use a club and, yeah, but the main character, I'm sorry I don't remember his names. I know it starts with an A at least, something like that. But he was too scared to do it, and he actually lets the human child go. But then his dad gets upset, goes after it, and then I don't think that's entirely what happened, but he does bring his son with him to try and capture it again, but I think it's like a flash flood that happened that ended up killing the main character's dad. And I don't remember much else of what happened. But I guess just kind of skipping a bit, the main character gets lost, and the human kid that was supposed to kill ends up helping him find his way back home. And then in turn also finding the human child's family, who I am bad at wording things, really. But on the way of like both of them returning home to their each of their families, I know who I want to start with. The T-Rex family, who are kind of supposed to be like cowboys in this movie, that the main character and his human come across. I remember when I first saw them, and also their toys at one point, before I saw the movie, I thought they were supposed to be bad guys, as kind of is part of the course for T-Rexes in movies, unfortunately, but I was kind of generally surprised and kind of liked that in this movie, the T-Rex family were actually pretty nice guys, albeit a little strange. And fortunately, don't remember any of their names exactly. I remember this one really good scene, where they're talking about how each T-Rex was talking about how they got their scars. I remember the brother, I think he mentioned that he was stuck, his tail got, no wait, that was the sister. Her tail got stuck, so she had to bite it off. I don't remember what happened to the brother. But the dad's story was that while he was drinking, he got attacked by 3 crocodiles, and he managed to fend them all off. But when the main character was telling him that he would like to be like the dad T-Rex and not be so afraid of everything, I don't remember the exact words, but basically, the dad T-Rex told him that he was very much afraid, and that fear is just kind of a natural thing that you can't really get rid of. You just have to live through it and just kind of push through. And I think that's a nice message. And I'm glad that it was the T-Rex teaching it, and like being a good guy, as opposed to kind of the usual super hungry, always destructive monsters in most other movies. Now for another creature that was kind of associated with the T-Rex family. Like I mentioned before, they're supposedly kind of like the cowboys of this world. And in turn, they have a bunch of livestock, particularly, I think they're bison. But they also had people that were trying to take their bison, and by people, I mean probably the worst. I don't want to be rude, but just I'll be honest, it's the worst designs of Velociraptors I've ever really seen. I don't know how to describe it, but like, their teeth, for one thing, look very human-esque and not quite like a raptor's. They have feathering, but I don't know how to word it. So it looks like the hair, like you put on a stereotypical kind of like crazy guys, like all wavy and I'm bad at describing it, but they just looked really off. As for the main villains of that movie, though, I was kind of surprised to know that they're actually pteranodons. And again, I was suspecting it to be like other dinosaurs when I was first going into it, but seeing pterosaurs be the main villains of the movie is kind of a pleasant change, I guess. Because normally people just don't know how to put it into words, but usually they're just like background creatures or just incredibly weak and not really put up much of a fight unless they're against humans, like in the Jurassic Park movies. Also, I noticed I missed quite a few messages. Kate the Spats. If I put all dinosaur VTubers in a park, would I be able to name it Jurassic Park? I don't think you would be able to. There were a few of us Dino VTubers that are supposedly from the Jurassic, but I think the vast majority of us are from the Cretaceous, so that wouldn't be entirely accurate. I guess if you don't care about, well, no, that sounds mean, but like, if you want to put aside scientific accuracy because the name sounds cool, Jurassic Park, then I guess you probably could. Cretaceous Center. Well, again, that's still not quite accurate because we do have some Jurassic period Dino VTubers. It'd have to be like Mesozoic something. Definitely not Park Centers. I don't know if there's anything that starts with an M that would work for that. I guess it would just have to be like Mesozoic world or something. But yeah, back to the dinosaur movies. Mesozoic Main Street. Actually, that would not be too bad. I think that one could actually work. I don't know if Main Street quite. It sounds more like a neighborhood than like an actual like theme park like Jurassic Park is, but I mean it works better than anything else I was gonna come up with, definitely. But back to the movies. Let's see. The Good Dinosaur. I was talking about how the Pteranodons were surprising. It's kind of shocking to me that they were villains and also pretty darn good ones. I don't remember too much about them, so I can't say a lot, but I think their opening scene. Oh, Mesozoic Metropolis, that works too, but back to the Pteranodons. Their opening scene, where they first act like they feel bad for the main character being lost, and also I think they were in the middle of what was just a forest fire, and they told the main character that they just wanted to go help and find any creatures that were trapped during the forest fire and such. And when the main character does find a lost rodent, the main character, one of the Pteranodons, the boss of them, he holds it up, looking nice and proud, and then immediately eats it. And I think just the sudden twist of that is. I'm bad at wording these again, but it generally kind of scared me when I first watched it. And I would say these were, though the movie overall is debatable, they were pretty darn good villains. And for the overall movie as a whole, I'd say, as on the, as per usual, I guess, with Pixar, the backgrounds look absolutely amazing. I was in love with just about every single piece, well, every single scene with a landscape that they showed, but the dinosaurs themselves, I feel like they were a tad too stylized, that they don't look quite like they fit in the background, and even if they did, the designs don't, they don't quite sit right with me, especially, like I said before, the Velociraptors are just, but the T-Rexes, at the very least, I liked how they looked. The human characters, even though we only see the family for the child's family for a little bit, they looked pretty good. Probably because Pixar has more experience like animating and designing humans, but the dinosaurs themselves, a good portion of them are kind of iffy, to say the least. Especially, well, the Velociraptors, but the sauropods, they aren't too bad, I'd say. They work well, and the stylization doesn't affect them much. The Statosaurus that was in one scene with a bunch of birds and other creatures living on top of his frill, I think that was done pretty okay, though parts of it are also a little iffy. I love the idea, though, of having smaller creatures live on top of him, like his frill. A similar idea, I think, was, well, at least, like stuff getting stuck in his frill and things like that, was also used in an animated short on YouTube called Old Buck by Dead Sound, which is now part of an awesome web series called Dinosauria that you guys, even if you aren't the most into dinosaurs, I'm sure you would love if you do decide to give it a watch. But besides that, I think the Good Dinosaur, it's not awful, but it has lots of untapped potential. So I'll put it in C tier, I think. Anyways, let's see some messages that I missed. I shall be watching with great interest. Well, I hope that I do not disappoint. And also, thank you for stopping by, Trainosaur. Hope you're having a good day, and thank you for stopping by. Hold up, could you play Dino Crisis? It's 1998 survival horror series. I don't have Dino Crisis right now, but I have heard of the overall series. To be honest, I've only ever watched Ice Age and Jurassic World out of this entire list. Ah, I see. Well, that's fine. Alright. And I mean, I guess I am usually making a few small summaries of them for you, so now you should kind of have seen them, or at least get incredibly spoiled by what they are. Well, missing out. Yeah, quite a few of these are some pretty good gems that you give a watch if you wish. Not forcing you, but good about these are a fun time to watch. One of these it's a bit debatable though, and I guess I can go with that one. So, Dino Time, or I believe it also goes by Back to the Jurassic. As the name could probably, well, might tip you off, it's kind of taking influence. At least that name is taking kind of influence from Back to the Future. And basically what happens in this movie, Dino Time, there's this kind of a jerk kid that I don't really like, who is also the main character. he and his friend decide to go into a museum, trash the place while sneaking into an exhibit because they wanted to see a new fossil that was on display, a Sarcosuchus, I believe. And then security got in. A whole bunch of things happened, and they destroyed several museum exhibits, and the main character shows absolutely no shame about that at all. Which, as a paleo nerd, I find that personally kind of insulting, because I like museums. I like the cool stuff they just show to them, and considering he's supposed to be a kid who's into dinos, I feel like he should at least show some remorse for what happened. Dino time first, F. Probably. I don't know how to. Can I make? Oh. I don't know how to make a new row, but yeah, it's not the best movie. The main character's friend is perfectly fine. He's probably my the best of the human characters. The main one is this, and his sister that comes along with them is also not the best either. She kind of gives DW from Arthur vibes every now and then. But yeah. Now ignore the human characters because I do not really have a liking to them. But I have to mention them a little bit because the plot. At one point they go to the main character's friend's house, and they find a time machine that's for some reason in the shape of an egg. It's important to the plot, so we kind of have to accept it. They spill soda on it, which causes the machine to go back in time to which is supposed to be the Cretaceous. So that that other title it goes by back to Jurassic is inaccurate. They just so happen to end up in a T-Rex nest. And because the time machine is shaped like an egg, when it opens up and they see the T-Rex, it immediately imprints on them as her babies, even though they look nothing like her. But yeah. Also, they kind of go something similar to like a Lion King-esque, like a new child is born kind of thing, with a bunch of other dinosaurs also being there to see the T-Rex's babies hatch for some reason. Even though they were all, I'm pretty sure, herbivores in that crowd. I don't think that'd be the safest place for them to be. So as a T-Rex myself, if a bunch of dino nuggies were coming to my house, I mean, I personally welcome them in. But yeah, let's see. I don't remember too much else about the story, except that the main villains are the weirdest designs I've ever seen for a Sarcosuchus. Because Sarcosuchuses, they're just supposed to be like giant crocodilians. Well, they're not true crocodiles anymore. They're crocodilomorphs. So they're close relatives of crocodilians, but basic point is they just had to design something that looks like a crocodile. But instead, I mean, I can't really describe it, but well, you know what, actually, I'm on Chrome for this, so I could show you guys it right now, actually. So, Dino time, Sarcosuchus. Let's see. Okay, so, I don't have the best images, but, here's what one of the, I am just, I need to get a good image for you guys. No, I want to exit out here, please. Okay, here's the best image I have of them. Here. And it's... Oh, hold on. Open image and new tab. Alright, I think this will work better. So, here's what they look like. I don't know why they look like this. Like, this one has... It looks like it has a sea anemone sprouting out of its head. They have... This one has, like... For some reason, it has saber teeth. This one is... This one over here isn't the worst, I guess. Like, it doesn't have any of this weird stuff that his brother has, but... Both kind of, iffy designs for a Sarcosuchus, to say the least. And I was just gonna just kind of skip through most of the story because I did not quite enjoy that story very much. But basically, the female T-Rex fights them. They both end up getting taken out. One of them gets thrown off a cliff by the T-Rex. The other one, I think it got taken out because the main character has this weird futuristic skateboard thing that has a rocket attached to it, and it just launches him into a pit of lava. It's an interesting way to take out a main villain, but at least it's creative. I'll give them that. And then they go back, the kid's parents finally find them, and then they go back in time, and the movie pretty much ends there. Salutations up, hello, Rado, welcome to the stream, hope you're having a good day, thank you for stopping by. It's good to see you here. That sounds so freaking cool for all of 2 seconds, and then horrid. That's kind of it in a nutshell, I would say. It's one cool death, and everything else about the movie is kind of iffy. I guess I'll go into Google again to show you. I guess Tyrannosaurus, since not the worst, the scientist. Oh, her name's Tyra, actually. I know a Dino VTuber whose name's Tyra, actually. That's nice. I think they do a pretty decent job with, I mean, it's a bit off, but they do a decent job at, stylizing her while still giving her the traits that, that showed us that she's a T-Rex. This thing, though, I don't know if you guys can see it because, how I cropped everything for the tier list. Hold on, I'll do this. I can't get a good image of them. Okay, but this guy over here, I think, yeah, this one should show you. Before the kids show up, Tyra also had another child that she adopted. This thing here. I don't know what this thing is, but I swear it was in my nightmares, after the first time I watched this movie. I don't know what this is or why someone decided to design this, but it's just, I don't know. To quote Rick Raptor again, because lots of these movies I actually know thanks to this review, it looks something like a chipmunk and Donald Duck had a kid, and then they threw it into a time machine because they wanted to. They couldn't bear to deal with the mistake they have created. And again, especially this image here, it just has the weirdest. I'm usually bad at words, but this time it's special. Uh, so, yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about it right now. So, Dino Time, hard D, and I wish I could put it somewhere else. And I don't know where to make a second row. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. Right, there we go. F minus. There you go. There's Dino Time. Thank you for following Raisin. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good time. And I'm sorry if you had to see the long kind of tangent I went on Dino Time for. Let's see. What else? I guess another one I could put here is Alpha and Omega Dino Digs. Because while I haven't seen this movie to its fullest, it's not the best. Like, I saw a little bit of it, and for some reason after the first Alpha and Omega movie, their kids are always the main characters, and they aren't the most pleasant to watch, unfortunately. And they're around for most of the movie, which is kind of why I want to put it in here. And I remember very little about the actual story, but I will say that the main dinosaur character that was introduced in the movie got her name. But hold on, I'm trying looking her up. Hold on. Then Omega, I guess just dinosaur. Yeah, there she is. Apparently her name's Amy. And I don't know if there's gonna be an image of her, of them anywhere, but she. What? I need to try and piece together what I want to say about it. Amy looks very out of place, I guess, with her family. 'Cause they all look like standard. I don't know what species they were supposed to be. But look like standard, just kind of placeholder kind of theropods. While Amy, I have no idea what she's supposed to be. And then let's see. I remember there's also a T-Rex in this movie as well. Let's see. Here's what it looks like. Not the best T-Rex design out there. Kind of a weird, like really big chin they gave him for some reason. I will say that the little horns, like little bumps it has on the front of its snout, they're an interesting addition. At the very least, it's something that makes it stand out a little more from most T-Rex designs. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about that particular movie. I guess one thing I will say though actually is one scene of the T-Rex is like where it first appears. The roar that they used for it, I almost instantly recognized it was just a mix of the roar of Godzilla 1998 and Jurassic Park's T-Rex. So yeah, I mean they're cool roars, but I'd imagine the people behind that movie didn't put in the most effort really for sound effects. But yeah, which one do I want to go with next? I think I'll go with Land Before Time, sure. So I haven't actually seen the original movie, but I have seen the TV shows and clips from other random assortions of the movies. because Land Before Time has a whole bunch of sequels. Um, so I guess I'll rank the entire series as one. I guess we can't be friends anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've never gotten the chance to see the first movie because they would never. Well, obviously they didn't have it up on YouTube back when I was a kid. And my family would never really go to like theaters or anything, and yeah, so I never actually got the chance to see it. Outside of clips from it and other Land Before Time sequels, lots of the episodes can be found on YouTube, though, surprisingly. And I guess I'll just have to say what I like about the characters, because I don't remember much of the plots for any of the movies. Worth the watch, but that could be my nostalgia talking here. I mean, I have seen, at the very least, the fight between Littlefoot's mother and the Sharptooth, and also her death. So, just from how those scenes were made and like everything about them, I do feel like that movie definitely deserves all the love it gets, and I would love to see it when I finally get the chance to do so. I mean, next week is going to be spring break for me, so I might decide to do like a big watch along, and we could just all watch the first Land Before Time movie together, if you all are up for that. But as of right now, it's based on what I know of it so far. I'll just say what I like about the characters, because they're the only thing that I'd imagine at least is consistent throughout all the movies and media. So I'll just go with that. Actually, I remember one plot from one sequel that I really liked, even if I didn't see the whole things. So I guess Littlefoot, because they are pretty much like the de facto main character. For what I've seen it in a few films and such, all of them in general can be a bit annoying at times, but it's mainly just because they're just doing things kids would normally do. Like they aren't exactly supposed to have the best decision making most of the times. It's understandable. I will say though that Littlefoot, he's definitely like the voice of reason for the most part. And also, I guess, the one who's always trying to learn the most out of everyone. I don't know if I'm doing a good job of describing the series so far, really. And then I guess the only other one I can follow up with, because she's the closest thing to a main character if Littlefoot wasn't around. Sarah, well, she's pretty much just the hothead. But I do like, there were a few times where she's kind of mellowed down a bit more, and I like those. And I remember I've seen a few clips of the sequels where she gets into antics when trying to raise, I think, her younger siblings. I would like to note though that I'm pretty sure her two younger siblings, like as a Triceratops, they have 3 horns. And their parents do too, but for some reason Sarah herself only has 1. For some reason, no brow horns. I'm not sure what's up with that design choice. I guess it's something that can make her stand out from other Triceratops, but it's an interesting choice. I've also heard that some people think that she might have been intended to be a monoclonius. And I mean, that would, considering she's supposed to have only 1 horn, that would That would be the most logical idea, but her family is all of them are Triceratops, so I guess it's just some weird design choice I decided to come up with. Also, I'm missing a few messages. Land Before Time watch along. Yes, alright then. If I remember to do it, we shall hopefully do a watch along next week. Hopefully I don't forget. I will need to figure out how to get like a timer into OBS. Cause last time I did a watch along, I had to put in like use a browser and then put a timer working there. And I don't know how to describe it, but lots of stuff happened and it caused the stream to be quite a bit laggy. So I would like an easier way to have a timer for watch along. I thought she had 3, so I had to Google it, and you're right. I can't trust my own mind. Yes, a lot of weird things that you don't notice. Something. Like, that you think you know about something until you look it up and you realize your brain apparently lied to you. Weird. And I always thought she did as a kid until I actually looked, and I was just like, what? Ducky and back to the main characters, Ducky and Spike. I don't know what really there is to kind of say about Ducky. She's kind of a, I don't want to be mean, but she's kind of a blandish character, really. Same thing for Spike for the most part, mainly because he never really talks. But I guess it's also, he does have a little bit of his own charm with that. I will say though that my favorite character of them all is definitely Chomper, being a T-Rex and all. And I will say I do kind of like the kind of dark blue / purple that he has for his colorings. It's unique for a Tyrannosaurus design and helps them stick out quite a bit. And also I do really like the character that was added for the TV show, I believe. Ruby the Oviraptor. Shocker, T-Rex likes Chomper. Who could have guessed? No one would have seen that one coming. But yeah, I also like Ruby. She's also kind of a voice of reason character, like Littlefoot usually. And I do word things better, but apparently she had also lived in the Great Beyond with not the Great Beyond, it's the Mysterious Beyond with Chomper for quite a while. As well as with the rest of her Oviraptor family, but they don't really show up too much in the show. I don't remember why. And let's see what else. Oh wait, I forgot about Petrie actually. I guess Petrie he's just kind of the typical kind of extra cowardly member of the group. He's also I don't know where to go about describing him. I guess I will say he's probably overall, in my opinion, the most annoying of the characters sometimes, because he spends a lot of time like being scared and like whimpering in the back when he is the only one in his like the whole friend group that can fly, and usually he's the one who could be able to save everyone if he remembers to actually do that. But sometimes he just kind of doesn't. And then I also decided to change up the colorings of the tiers because I thought they're kind of distracting. Some of them were the same color. But yeah. I I don't think I did a good job really at describing the characters, but to my favorite Land Before Time sequel. I think it was, I don't remember the exact numbering because again there's so many sequels to Land Before Time that's sometimes hard to keep track, but I think this was the Land Before Time 3 or 4. So the Great Valley begins. I don't know if it exactly begins, but around the beginning of the story, a bunch of bugs come in and they start eating away at all the plants. So all the herbivores of the Great Valley have to move out and find somewhere else to live. And while they're doing that, lots of them get into fights and arguments, and it leads all the main characters to want to I don't remember the exact idea, but I think they're going to work together to find a new home for everyone to stop fighting and be happy again, like they were at the Great Valley. And they end up on a mysterious island, and they thought they could just go like cross to there whenever they felt like, because there was a land bridge there. But when the tides rose up, they ended up getting themselves stuck on that island. And surprisingly, I guess I should mention that actually, Chomper wasn't really officially a part of their group at the time. I don't remember when he officially started living in the Great Valley. Might have been like during the TV show, but in this particular movie, he wasn't there with them. And he's actually the first person that they meet when they reach the mysterious, like while they're exploring the mysterious island. And he's grown from when they first met him back in, I think, Land Before Time 2. And they also meet his parents, who want to eat them, sort of meet them. Chomper, I believe, has to constantly be hiding them away from his parents, while they're constantly sniffing around, noticing that they're smelling lots of food around here, but don't know where they are. And then eventually it leads to this third fully grown sharp tooth, which everyone says is supposed to be based off a Giganotosaurus, but because of how stylized the sharp teeth are, it's a bit hard to tell exactly what species it's supposed to be. It's definitely different from the T-Rexes, though. And it ends up chasing the main characters, except for Chomper, up until they get to a cliff. It has them cornered, and then Chomper finally shows up, and it bites down on the strange sharp tooth's tail. And then his parents show up, and it gets into probably the coolest fight I've seen in any of the Land Before Time movies. I haven't seen all of them again, so there might be cooler fight scenes out there, but for me, it was one of the coolest fights I've seen in any Land Before Time movie. And it ends with Chomper's dad, I believe, tail swiping the strange sharp tooth in the face and causing it to fall off a cliff, but it ends up knocking over Chomper with its tail, so they both fall. And then Littlefoot jumps into the water to save Chomper, while I believe the evil sharp tooth gets swept out to sea for some unknown reason. I don't remember how. And then after saving their kid, Chomper's parents decide not to eat Littlefoot and his friends, and they're able to go back and reunite with the herd. I think it was after the tides went down. I might be wrong though. I can't remember something else happening, but I don't remember what it was. But yeah, that's all I can remember for that one particular movie. So, all in all, I don't know if it's fair to really rank it because of how little I surprisingly know about this series. But, because of my personal I guess my personal nostalgia for that one sequel as well as the TV show, I'll put them up here in A tier. And then let's see, which one comes next? What's your Ice Age 3, Dawn of the Dinosaurs. I think I'll go with that one. So, like I said a long while back, respectable. Thank you. Alright, but, like I said a while back, Ice Age 3 is probably my favorite out of all the Ice Age movies so far. Because there are quite a few of them, and I'm pretty sure there's still more being made for some reason. But, yeah. I don't know if I should do a summary for it or not, because I think a decent amount of people probably have seen it, but I guess I'll do a quick, I can't do a quick summary because it's a pretty long and convoluted tale, but I'll sum it up as best as I can. So, oh god, words, I think it starts with Manny and Ellie from the second movie expecting to have a mammoth calf arriving soon. So because of that, Manny doesn't spend much time with Diego or Sid anymore. Diego decides that he wants to kind of go off on his own too, so Sid's kind of now all alone. Understandably, he is a bit sad about that. But then he falls through some ice and somehow finds a bunch of baby T-Rex eggs in there. I don't know why they were there, considering where the mama T-Rex normally lives throughout the movie, but like around in the center of the movie, she lives in a more kind of foresty area, so I don't know what her eggs were doing up there. But basically, then she, then Sid, he decides to take them and raise them until they actually ended up hatching. And they also, they started to imprint on him, and I am bad for wording it, but eventually, they find a small little playground made of ice that Manny was making for his calf. And the baby T-Rexes end up trashing the place, unfortunately. Much to dismay of Manny, and then he gets upset at Sid, tells him to not run away, but tells him to get rid of the baby Rexes. And then all of a sudden, the mama T-Rex shows up, probably upset considering her kids got kidnapped. And, oh, hold on. Hey Dino, Abella the Rat Goblin. Want to see a little video? Maybe after this stream is over. You can link it to me, like, in Twitter DMs or something like that. I still got quite a few movies I need to get to ranking, though. Actually, I guess if it's a small clip, then I wouldn't mind seeing it. I'm not sure if I'd be allowed to show it on Twitch, though. Depending on what it is. Especially if there's copyrighted material and stuff there. Alright, so... alright. Alright, I'll save the link on my phone, and I'll watch it later. Oh, it's a meme video Gronka made for me. Ah, okay. Then I'll be happy to go check it out at some point. Right now... back to Ice Age 3. So, after it finally finds his kids, and Sid, it ends up taking all 4 of them, baby three baby Rexes and Sid back to the world of the dinosaurs, which for some reason is right underneath the surface world where all the Ice Age creatures are. I don't know how that works, but it happens, and then Manny and Ellie, and also the two possums whose names I forgot, they have to go down and save him. They reunite with Diego, who kind of just shows up out of nowhere where they're being attacked by an Ankylosaurus. And they also meet this character named Buck. He's simultaneously my favorite and also one of my least favorite characters in the Ice Age movies. He's cool sometimes, but other times he gets a tad bit annoying. It's kind of like on and off for me. But apparently, he has a missing eye and a dagger with a dinosaur's tooth in it, both due to an encounter he had with a baryonyx named Rudy, who would be the main villain of the story. I feel like a lot more would happen to a weasel being hit by one of the giant claws that baryonyxes had. I actually did a Dino Fact on baryonyx yesterday. It's my most recent one, and part of the Dino Fact is that it had large curved 12-inch claws. So I'd imagine no weasel would. I think they get a little more than just like a missing eye if they were to get hit by something like that. But Buck survives, and he gets swallowed by Buck Buck gets swallowed by Rudy at some point, but he somehow manages to crawl his way out, break through his teeth, and that's how he gets the dagger. And I'm trying to think of what else happened. Along the way, actually, I remember the main characters. Well, we said it's the main character, but like the main cast that's looking for Sid get attacked by these blue theropods who act oddly like Velociraptors, and that's what I assumed they are when I first watched the movie. Well, they don't really look like it because they don't have the sickle claws or anything, but I just kind of assumed they were supposed to be extremely stylized dromaeosaurs when I was a kid, only to realize later on they were supposed to be Guanlong. Guanlong, for those of you guys who don't know, is an early Tyrannosaur. So it's one of the oldest ancestors of T-Rex, in fact. And yet it was somehow living at the same time as T-Rex, because, well, you know, in the movie there's a mama T-Rex with 3 babies that Sid took. So somehow they're living at the same time. Odd. But yeah, they deal with that. And it leads to a big fight with Rudy at the very end. Which honestly, as cool it is, it technically wasn't really all that necessary, because as hard as the Ice Age mammals tried to fight Rudy and like trip him up with vines and stuff, nothing works, but then the mama T-Rex just kind of shoves Rudy off a cliff and ends it there. So the whole scene where they were going up against Rudy was cool, so it's all worth it. And it turns out that Rudy actually somehow survives his fall, because at the very, very end of the movie, it shows Buck, again, riding on Rudy. I can't tell if they were supposed to be friends this whole time, because Buck feels sad when Rudy supposedly dies, and then he's just hanging out, riding on Rudy at the end of the movies. Maybe it's like a friendly rivalry thing. But yes. I don't think I did the best job summarizing this movie, but like I said before, it's one of my favorites of the Ice Age movies, and I'll put it in high B tier. I think it works there. Let's see. So, Walking with Dinosaurs. I think I'll go with Walking with Dinosaurs 3 for this one. This one has quite the interesting tale, I will say. So basically, it's about a Pachyrhinosaurus named Patchy, growing up, living with his kind of a jerk brother named Scholar, and also a female Pachyrhinosaurus who would be his mate. I forgot her name. And as they're going through life, the main villain that they would face is Gorgon the Gorgosaurus. So that's debatable actually. I'll get to that later. And his pack. And along the way, as they were migrating, Gorgon would end up killing Patchy's and Scholar's dad. What else? I remember the three kids ended up getting lost in the herd at some point, and they had to make their way back. It's also a bit of a time skip where we kind of get to skip straight to them being fully grown. Scholar beats the previous alpha of the herd, and then one of the first things he decides to do as leader and continuing with the migration is leading the entire herd of fully grown Pachyrhinosaurus over a frozen lake. Like a whole herd of Pachyrhinosaurus, which probably weighed several tons individually, over a frozen lake. So as you could probably guess already, it was a terrible idea, and the ice starts crumbling. Pachyrhinosauruses start falling into the frozen water, and then it's up to Patchy to lead everyone out of there, upsetting Scholar because he's supposed to be alpha, and he's fairly insecure of Patchy saving the rest of his herd for some reason. So they get into a bit of a tussle, and Patchy ends up getting stuck under a fallen tree and left for dead. I don't remember what exactly happens after that, but he manages to get out. And just in time to see Scholar and the rest of the herd being attacked by Gorgon and his pack again. He saves Scholar and the herd fends him off, and then Patchy ends up becoming the new leader. Which I feel like would have happened regardless of if they saved Scholar or not, but I guess it's a nice touching moment around the very end where Scholar does apologize to Patchy for being a bit of a jerk throughout their entire lives. But I get that's kind of the quick summary about that movie. Done. Now, as for the paleontology, and I guess also some pre-production stuff behind it too. Let's see. I guess I'll start with what I mentioned earlier about Gorgon debatably being a Gorgosaurus. I mean, you'd imagine, like from the name, he is supposed to be a Gorgosaurus, right? And yes, he and his pack are their models are based off Gorgosaurus. They were supposed to be Gorgosaurus, but in the years after the movie was released, it was believed, originally it was believed that there were fossils of Gorgosaurus found in Alaska where the movie takes place, specifically in the Prince Creek Formation. But as time went on, they realized it wasn't a Gorgosaurus and it had enough differences to be its own dinosaur. So it was renamed to Nanukosaurus, which means polar bear lizard. So they're actually the creators couldn't have possibly known that at the time, but nowadays they're supposed to be Nanukosaurus, and some of the other versions of the movie that have been released since do change the name to Nanukosaurus as opposed to Gorgosaurus. However, even though they're both Tyrannosaurids, they're part of two different subgroups of Tyrannosaurids. Gorgosaurus is from the Albertosaurians, which are they're kind of more slender and lighter than the Tyrannosaurians, which make up like T-Rex, Tarbosaurus, lots of the kind of more heavyweight, kind of muscly guys of the Tyrannosaurid group, like me. And Nanukosaurus is part of the Tyrannosaurians. So even though some of them get the name change right, technically they're all still kind of inaccurate in terms of the models, because they're because of how they like their classifications, it's most likely, even though we don't have too many remains of Nanukosaurus, it was most likely a bit more muscly than Gorgosaurus was. So if they were to like make any change up the animations a bit, you'd have to make the models a bit chunkier, I'd say. But yeah, besides that, Pachyrhinosaurus, which is pretty much the main dino of the movie, I think they did a really good job with the models, but if I remember correctly, they did make a bit of a mistake regarding how they look overall, because there's 3 species of Pachyrhinosaurus. Pachyrhinosaurus, I think, is P. lacustae, P. canidus, and then P. pectorum, I think. And P. pectorum is the Pachyrhinosaurus species that's supposed to live in Alaska, where the movie takes place, while the other 2 live in Canada. But I'm pretty sure in Walking with Dinosaurs 3D, the models for their Pachyrhinosauruses are based more off P. lacustae as opposed to P. pectorum. The minor nitpick, it's the wrong species, but the models are very, very accurate to the species they were doing. And I like that, and I do like the color choices they make, especially for the adults, the adult males especially. Like, they're greener than the females, and they have kind of cool markings on their frills. But yeah, Sharky, the one and only. I'm super late, my bad. Not at all. It's never too late to come to one of my streams. We're always happy to have people come in, and I hope that you enjoyed the stream as I go on a bit about some paleo nerdy stuff while ranking dino movies. Alright, now I guess another I already went through the 2 main dinos of Walking with Dinosaurs 3D, but I think now I kind of have to, I went through the plot and everything too, so I guess I'll go into kind of the pre-production of it, because this kind of is part of it's part of a problem that kind of downs its ranking, probably. So the animations, backgrounds, the models themselves, they all look really, really good. Unfortunately, one of the things that really brings this movie down for me and a lot of the people is that they give the dinosaurs in this movie, all of them, well, almost all of them, voiceovers. And they aren't very good ones. They're kind of the, I don't want to be mean to them, but they're kind of the typical celebrity voice actors that they put in, like, just to get attachments to the names of those celebrities, as opposed to getting that voice actors that are like, I don't want to say talented, but I don't know if lots of them were really the best fits for those characters that they voiced. And plus the lines that they'd have to say for some of those, like for some scenes in the movies, they're not the best writing, and they could have avoided all of that just by not having voiceovers. And there are versions of the movie, plus fan-made ones too, where the voiceovers are completely removed, and when I watched those are absolutely amazing. But because Hollywood executives, I think specifically, I don't know if it's Hollywood, I think executives from Fox first saw the movie, they were concerned that kids wouldn't understand the movie, so they decided to throw in voice overs last second, just to appeal to them. And personally, I'm pretty sure even the kids who watched that movie didn't like it. Pretty sure I was definitely a minor when I was watching the movie. But I'm hold on. I can't see when the movie was released. Walking with Dinosaurs 3D. Let's 2013. I was definitely a kid when I was 13. Okay. December 2. Okay. I can't do the math quite well, but I think I would have been around. Wait, not. I can't do the math right now, but I would have been like 9 or 10 when this movie came out, and I found the voice overs annoying. So yeah, this movie had a lot of potential, but I feel like the executives behind the movie, they did a lot of things that kind of downgraded a lot. So I don't truly dislike the movie though, because again, I've seen what it could have been without the voiceovers and things like that. So I'll put it here. It's gonna be hold on. I think I'll say D. But I'm gonna make an addition. It'll be D if it weren't for the voiceovers. I'd say it would be like B plus. So there you go. I don't have an A plus here. I'll go with A actually. Yeah, I'll go with that. So that's kind of the tragic tale behind Walking with Dinosaurs, and I mean, maybe at some point someone else will make another movie that will actually at least like another movie based off Walking with Dinosaurs that won't have to deal with voiceovers, and we see them truly for like what they really are. But that's it. How about we're back with dinosaurs. So let's see. This one's actually kind of old too, but I do have a pretty good memory of what kind of happened in this one. So it starts off with a T-Rex doing it as usual. Actually, it had a few things happen beforehand, but those aren't the most important. So it kind of starts off with the T-Rex that's going to be the main character chasing a small dinosaur. I think I remember it being it's supposed to be a Hypsilophodon. I'm not entirely sure if that's true. But basically, while it's doing that, the usual thing, hunting, a weird flying ship appears out of nowhere, and out from it comes out this weird floating alien thing. And it's, I remember what it was, I think it was trying to advertise a hungry T-Rex. I forgot the actual name of it, but it's like a weird cereal that could increase the intelligence of any creature that eats it, and also apparently it make them more anthropomorphic. But the T-Rex tries eating him, obviously, so he ends up restraining him with some technology that I don't quite understand, force feeding him the weird cereal, and then after he transforms into the main character that you can sort of see in the picture here. He gets introduced to the rest of the dinosaurs that they had already taken. Well, dinosaurs plus one pterosaur, because there's a pteranodon among them. And they were, if I remember correctly, they were all eating hot dogs. It's kind of weird considering both of the actual dinosaurs that were there were both herbivores, being a Triceratops and a Parasaurolophus. So I guess the weird cereal also changes their diet for some reason. So I guess it's wild animals eating human-made foods. So I guess something is going to end up a bit iffy. So after that, I think they get sent to New York. Meeting with a kid, I forgot his name. Another little girl, I forgot her name too. Because I'm not the best with human characters. Although I'm also not the best with dinosaur characters either, because I don't remember any of their names. Except I think Rex. You can probably imagine why. His name is Rex, though, right? We're back. Yeah, his name is Rex. I'd be very embarrassed if he wasn't. But yes. I don't remember what else happened in the movie. I do remember a creepy looking magician guy. He forced the dinosaurs into joining a circus and fed them something that would reverse the effects of their cereal they ate earlier and revert them back to normal dinosaurs. I think, to quote him, he said he was going to make them monsters, even though half of them are just supposed to be herbivore. I mean, I guess the Triceratops can be dangerous, but the Parasaurolophus definitely is not that big of a threat, I'd say. I don't think he knew what he was saying. What he was saying was good to turn them into monsters. Even the T-Rex, at least in real life, it would have just been an animal living based on instinct. It wouldn't have been exactly monstrous per se. But that's just me. So they do end up saving him, and I don't remember what happened to the magician guy. I'm pretty sure he gets stopped somehow. But that's as far as I know about the movie. So yeah, as you can imagine, I don't have the biggest recollection of it, but I will say, one musical number that happened, in the center of the movie that I really love, and it still gets sometimes stuck in my head. I don't remember the exact name, but it's probably something like "Roll Back the Rock." And we're back. Let's see. I'm hoping that I know that Twitch is a bit iffy on certain types of music being shown on stream, so I'm definitely not gonna show you guys the actual like scene of it. But yeah, it's roll back the rock to the dawn of time, where the dinos were kind of pretending to be floats at a parade, as you can probably see from there. That musical number was definitely, it's the most memorable thing that I saw from that movie. I remember actually there's also a small cameo in that movie. Well, not cameo, but like a reference to Jurassic Park, where I think in one scene, if there's a a movie theater in the background, if you look closely, it says Jurassic Park on it. I think that was a nice little tidbit that the creators added. Alright, so let's see. Based on, I wouldn't say it's particularly the most amazing movie out there, but I do have quite a bit of nostalgia for it, so hard B. And I'll put it in front of Jurassic Games too. Oh, whoops, actually, maybe I should scroll down a bit, because I realized when I was cropping everything for the tier list, I don't have the actual movies on the actually being visible. I feel it looks better like this does. Have to work with that. Alright, but here's the next one I want to do before we finish things off with all 5 of the Jurassic Park movies. So this here is You Are Omasu. It's the only like major dinosaur anime movie that I've ever seen, and honestly, it's probably, even if there were others, it would probably be my favorite. It's a really a well done film. It has a very stylized art style that makes the dinosaurs extra cartoony in this one, but it definitely works to this movie's advantage. And if you were to put any of the just about any of the dinosaurs in this movie next to some other dinos, I'd instantly be able to recognize what it was and what movie it was from, at least. And for the basic plot summary, the main character, a young T-Rex named Hart, ends up in a nest of a Maiasaura, I believe. I'm not sure if the exact species of dinosaur that was protecting them, but protecting Hart and the herd that he lived with for a while. It looked like they were at least supposed to be hadrosaurs, and if I remember correctly, the place they were living on was called Egg Mountain. It might have just been made up, because it did have like a big egg-shaped rock on top of it, and it's supposed to be a volcano. And a volcano like that, I'm pretty sure doesn't exist in real life, but the name Egg Mountain is possibly based on the real Egg Mountain, where Maiasaura fossils were found. So my best guess would be that Hart was raised by Maiasaura for a while, until one day while he's out foraging for food, he wanders a little too far and he comes across other T-Rexes. Or it gets in the movie, this movie does kind of the Land Before Time route of giving them a different name, like Sharp Teeth. In this movie, in You Are Omasu, theropods are referred to as, well, at least T-Rexes are referred to as Big Jaws. And they actually have a little bit of a lullaby that they sing throughout the movie. about Big Jaws, and that the main character's parents would adoptive mom for Hart at least, they would always tell them about like how they're supposed to be afraid of Big Jaws. Those who wander away from the herd and cry, the Big Jaws will come to get them. And I can only imagine the kind of fear that Hart was feeling when he first saw them. Until they just kind of left them be. Most of them were just kind of like wondering, like, who are you? What are you doing here? Why didn't you help with the hunts just now? Because when he first meets them, they were hunting this big Triceratops, and things were going a bit rough for them until this extra large T-Rex named Baku, who I'm pretty sure is actually, it's never been like definitively confirmed, but I think everyone who's seen the movie knows that they're hinting that Baku is supposed to be Hart's father. He ends up killing the Triceratops in one bite while everyone else was having trouble with it. And when he sees Hart, I remember he asked him about like, where's your family, where are your parents? And when he couldn't answer, he just kind of told, Baku just told Hart to probably go. Everyone else around here, they're gonna smell the food. Everyone's gonna be a bit aggressive. I remember, like, as he was doing that, another Big Jaw, I don't remember his name, but I think it started with a G. Gonzo is kind of, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. He pretty much reveals to Hart that, yep, he's a Big Jaw too, tries to make him eat his Maiasaur brother. I think his name was like Light or something. But Hart understandably does not do that. It ends up eating the other Big Jaw's tail off, like the tip of it, and makes him run away. But then Hart also decides to run away because he doesn't want to risk eating his family. And then he ends up growing up, living all alone, until he meets a baby Ankylosaurus, which is how the movie gets its name, You Are Umasu. Because when he finds the baby Ankylosaurus, he tells it, You are Umasu, which I'm pretty sure in Japanese means tasty looking. But the baby Ankylosaurus ends up taking that as, apparently he thought that Hart was his dad, because he had just hatched, and that he was naming him. So it leads to a bunch of kind of awkward situations where eventually Hart would end up deciding, yeah, alright, you're with me, little guy, you're now my adoptive son. And then that goes well until Egg Mountain starts erupting. And then Hart and Umasu decide to go over to Egg Mountain, make sure the Maiasaur that raised them are okay. And he also gets into a big fight with Baku. I don't remember the exact details of it. But yeah, after that, the herd's saved, and then Hart and Umasu just kind of go back to their normal life. Again, I don't think I did the best job explaining it, but honestly, it's a fun little story. Probably one of the best dinosaur animes out there. There's not much competition for it, but Dinosaur Movies 2 is one of the best, so I'll put you up here. Now, on to the big 5 Jurassic Park movies. Alright, so this one, I mean, you guys can, even as small as it is, you guys can see what it is. This movie needs no introductions or summaries. At least I hope it wouldn't. If you guys do need a summary, then the Dino is gonna be a bit disappointed in you. Like, not to be mean, but I mean, it's Jurassic Park. I'm sure at least most people should have at least seen it once. So if you haven't, then we can do a watch along for it at some point, if you wish. Oh, sorry, got to go. TTYL, stay awesome, Dino Dude. It's a while. It's probably a bit old, but thank you for stopping by, Raxon. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you for stopping by, and take care. It introduced itself into my brain with the theme song. That is understandable. It is a very catchy song. Well, theme. I really like this like not heavy metal, but like rock version of it that I found a while back. Would listen to it for hours on it since I first found it. Oh, sorry, gotta go too. Bye bye. Yeah, later, Dino. Well, bye, Kate. Thank you for stopping by and for sticking around for so long. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and see you later. Alright, so the last 5. Alright, so Jurassic Park. You all know it's gotta be up on S tiers. And I mean, I do want to say more about it, but I mean, there's not much I can say, really. Actually, I guess I could say a little bit of trivia first before I put it in S tier. Let's see. Let's see. Words. Trying to think of something. I guess one thing I guess not a lot of people might have known about it is that its scientific consultant was Jack Horner, who he's a debatable, well, he's a controversial figure in paleontology now, but he's done like quite a lot for the paleontology field and for Jurassic Park. If it weren't for him, the Velociraptors would have actually acted a lot more lizard-like. I actually saw like some old footage of the raptors in the kitchen scene having tongues that would come out like a monitor lizards, which aren't in the original film. And yeah, I think this is probably one of his finest works that he's done as scientific consultant of multiple Jurassic Park movies, actually. And yeah, I think that'll be all for now. And now for The Lost World, aka just Jurassic Park 2, I guess. This one is a bit kind of iffy. It had a lot of potential, especially with the novel version that it had. But I mean, being a movie and all, of course, lots of it has been cut out for time. But also, quite a lot of stuff was, like, even for that, a lot of stuff was cut from this movie. I feel like that kind of brings down its ratings, unfortunately. For one thing, the T-Rex breaking out of the boat in around the end of the movie. There's no real explanation as to what, like, how it got out, because we see a hand on, like, a dismembered hand on, like, the controls of the ship that it was on, and the doors that let the T-Rex out just kind of opened up on its own. In the movie, we aren't told what happens, but originally there were supposed to be scenes of Velociraptors being on the boat and causing a bunch of havoc that would lead to the T-Rex being released. But those were cut for some reason. So, I don't want to put it. I'll put it in B, like at the bottom of B tier, because it has a lot of potential. It's just too much stuff was kind of cut out for this one. Alright, now for Jurassic Park 3. This one, it was actually one of my favorite movies growing up. Though nowadays it's admittedly a bit not the best. I love the Spinosaurus design though. It's part of what made Spinosaurus my favorite dinosaur for a good while. The story though is kind of blah, so are some of the characters, especially the new ones that were released, that were introduced in this movie. Forgot what they're called. But the parents weren't the nicest people. Their son though, I'd say he's at least the least annoying. I don't want to be mean, but I guess least annoying of like all the kids in the Jurassic Park movies. And see, there's not much else. Actually, I will say first, I do like that they made quite a bit of a change to the Velociraptors. Like, no feathers, but the adult males at least have quills on their head, which is a nice touch, I'd say. And I love the colorings that they and the female ones have. And just how different they are from the ones from the other Jurassic Park movies. And I like that, unlike the others where they're kind of just monsters again, but in this movie, the Jurassic Park Velociraptors, they're just animals who are trying to who only attack the main characters because one of them got his name, but he stole their eggs and he was going to smuggle them off Isla Sorna. He did have the quote unquote the best intentions because he was Alan Grant's assistant and he wanted to sell them off so they can get more money to supply to fund their dig sites. But Alan Grant, to quote him, some of the worst things imaginable come from the best of intentions. And eventually they would give the eggs back to the Velociraptors, as well as they deserve to after the hard work of trying to save their offspring that were wrongfully stolen for probably one of the worst reasons. Well, not the best reason. For reasons that aren't quite the best, I'd say. Because there are other ways they could have funded the dig site without stealing baby dinos from their parents. Overall, I'll put it in C's here. And I feel like I kind of need to rush a bit through these because I only have 17 minutes until my time in the study room is over. I seriously thought of how much of the movies I haven't seen I had to put here that would actually... I thought that this tier list might not have taken long enough and I need to do like a second one or something to get through the full 3 hours I have this study room for, but apparently I'm kind of getting close in terms of time, so let's not dilly-dally. Let's get to the last two movies for Jurassic World. So, I heard a lot of people were kind of iffy about this one. Some people love it, some people hate it. I personally really love it. I know a lot of people aren't, nowadays, I don't know exactly why, but some people kind of are a bit iffy on, like, Chris Pratt, but I do personally enjoy his performances in movies, and Jurassic World was the one that first introduced me to him, and that he did a pretty darn good job. And I mean, the scenes where he's in charge of the Raptor Pack, they're always going to be ingrained in my mind as one of the coolest scenes, some of the coolest scenes in the Jurassic Park franchise. So, but also, I want to say that the Indominus Rex design is it went through quite a few different looks and stuff. During pre-production, I remember at one point it was going to be called the Dinosaurus Rex before being turned to Indominus. And from what I've seen, some of the older designs might actually look cooler than the Indominus we did get, but I still really do enjoy the movie for what it was, and I don't think the kid characters in this one were really that bad either. Again, I really did like Chris Pratt's performance as Owen Grady in this movie. Claire Dearing wasn't too bad of a character either, I would say. And that scene where Rexy and Blue face down the Indominus and then it gets killed by the Mosasaurus. That is just, it's one of the best scenes of any just dinosaur media just ever. So, might be controversial, but I think I'll put it up in S tier. I think it deserves that spot. And then the last one, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I haven't actually seen the full movie, but I've seen a good portion of it. They do a good job of making the new human villain, Ellie Mills or something like among those lines. They did a good job at making him hateable, and I did enjoy seeing him get torn apart by the T-Rex and the Carnotaurus at the very end of the movie. As for the Dino main villain, the Indoraptor, I think it's definitely scary when you also include the story that was deleted from the original film, from the final film, where it's seen playing with a human skull, and they tell a story about how a technician had foolishly gone inside its enclosure to after the only light bulb in its enclosure went out, and also that they figured out that's how it needed 3 tranq darts to be fully sedated, which would have been a good lead up to the death of this one mercenary in the final film, who only used 2 tranq darts to try and sedate the Indoraptor, and then paying for his mistake later. And I enjoyed seeing the Indoraptor fight with Blue too. Let's see. I'll say that some of the new dinos that I introduced, like Baryonyx, his design is a bit iffy. I will say the Carnotaurus looked really good though. And Allosaurus also didn't look the best, but it got a bit of a glow up in the web short, I guess, that was released on their official YouTube page, Jurassic World Battle at Big Rock. And trying to think of anything else. Dino really. There was this one heartbreaking scene where as Mount Sibo is exploding and Isla Nublar is consumed by the big eruption, we see a Brachiosaurus go up on its 2 legs before dying. And I think it might have been confirmed that Brachiosaurus that died was the first Brachiosaurus that we saw in the first movie. A bit saddening. But I guess also kind of poetic that it's there where we first see Isla Nublar and there when we see it for the last time. Well, at least last time in the films. We do see it again in like Camp Cretaceous. Let's see, anything else before I pretty much finish off this here. not really. Actually, I guess I do want to talk about this one scene at the end, because it does lead up to the new movie that's gonna come out this June. The scene where the little girl that was revealed to be a human clone by InGen, she had freed, after realizing she was a clone, she had freed all the dinosaurs to let them out into the wild, stating that, well, they were alive, like her, and a lot of people say she shouldn't have done that, she was a little monster and stuff like that, but, I mean, one thing, I mean, there's dinosaurs out and about in the mainland. That's something I've always wanted to see in in a Jurassic Park movie, so, like, from a story, from what's gonna happen in the new movie kind of standpoint, I'm glad she did that, but also from a story standpoint, she was a little girl who was going through quite the traumatic night, so I'd imagine it's understandable for her to at least try to sympathize with the closest things she has to her, that being the dinosaurs, because they were also clones. So I think it makes good sense to me, at least, why she decided to free them at the end of Fallen Kingdom. And again, she is the reason we're getting dinosaurs living alongside humans in Fallen Kingdom, so, well, not Fallen Kingdom, in Dominion. So, yeah. But I think I'll finish this tier list off and put it in a solid A tier. I think I'll put it in front of Dino King, though. Oh, hello there, you amazing dino. Hello there, Rox. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day today. Thank you for stopping by. Though, unfortunately, it's kind of the end now, because but now you can have a nice look at our completed dinosaur movie tier list. Darn, it's okay. You can check out the VOD if you wish, because I always have VOD saved. And even if it's late, it's nice to see you here and talk with you. Even if it's gonna be for a little bit. But yeah, here's the complete tier list. Admittedly, a good amount of these I haven't seen, and some of these up here I actually also haven't seen, but I felt I know enough about it to give it a decent ranking. And here in this honorable mentions, I guess, we have Dino Time and Alpha and Omega Dino Digs. D tier, you have Dinosaur Island, August tier list East. And also in a special D tier, we have Walking with Dinosaurs, but it would have been an A if they didn't have the voiceovers forced into it by the Fox executives, who were afraid that the movie by itself without the voiceovers wouldn't appeal to the kids. Even though I was a 9/10-year-old at the time the movie was released, and I personally didn't like the voiceovers. I'm glad I at least caught the end. Look, it's good to see you here, Dawn. I'm sorry we're kind of ending off now, but I'm glad to see you here at least. And again, you can well, not again, but like I said for Rocks, you can check out the VOD if you wish to, because I always have those saved. And then in C tier, we have Dino King Journey to Fire Mountain, The Good Dinosaur, Jurassic Park 3. B tier, we're back, A Dinosaur's Tale, The Jurassic Games, Ice Age, Dawn of the Dinosaurs, possibly the original King Kong, I'm not sure, and The Lost World, Jurassic Park. A tier, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Dino King aka Speckles the Tarbosaurus, Disney's Dinosaur, and Land Before Time. And in S tier, we have King Kong 2005, You Are Umasu, Jurassic Park, and Jurassic World. And that is all this pretty much wrapped up. So I think I'm going to end things here, but thank you to everyone who stopped by today. I hope you all had a fun time here. And for those of you who just came by at the end, I'm glad at least to talk to you guys, and I hope that if you wish to see the VOD, that you enjoy it. And I'm going to go find someone to raid now before we end things off truly. But as I'm doing that, I want to say this. Just thank you to everyone who stopped by. I'm happy to have talked with you all about dinos and these movies during these past 3 hours, and I hope you all had a good time here, and I hope to see you in some of my other streams where we can just play games, draw, maybe chat more about some dinosaur movies in the future, maybe do some watch-alongs if I remember to do that, and just have a jolly good time and be buddies. But until that time comes, I hope you all take care and have a good rest of your day. And I still need to find someone to raid. Let's see. Kira Pete the Velociraptor is streaming. So let's go see. Alright. And I see I'm trying to sort it in chat. Good night, was fun. I'm glad you had fun, my fellow dino. I'm sure I don't forget if you see my schedule on Sunday and notice that the Land Before Time watch along isn't there, let me know and I shall make a change. But yeah. Alright, let's get the raid going. And I'll say it again. Thank you to all of you for stopping by. I love and appreciate all of you. Thank you for chatting with me about all of this. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care. Enjoy Kira P's stream now. And I'm trying to switch over to the loading screen. Alright, let's get to working. Alright, there we go. And bye-bye.